you come into the kind of money a lot of these guys are coming into, is that like a lot to, I mean, like, yeah, it's great you can buy things, whatever, but like, is that a lot to take on mentally as you, like, looking back now?
So the thing that I would say, what would you do with shit ton of money at 19?
Nothing good. I mean, really, dude, a lot of cocaine is mine. Where did you learn about parking? It's like one of the most lucrative businesses out there in the country.
Yeah.
Where did you learn that?
Yeah, like, since I've had time to like explore the world and see things.
Yeah, right.
I've just been doing a little research and trying to figure out more ways to find something else that I'm passionate about.
Right.
So parking is something that I feel like us as Americans we use. Cars are being bought every single day.
Dude, if you bought a lot, I'd exclusively park in your lot when I came down. Don't worry, dude. Yeah, dude, you gotta come up with a cool name for it, though. You know what I'm saying? But they also have, that's interesting you say that, like, because you're retired now.
Yeah.
You're not playing, so that's your passion. That's 18 years of your life that you just put out. Is that hard finding that passion or that transition phase maybe a little bit?
I think it's been pretty cool for me because I haven't transitioned completely out of basketball yet because I have kids that play the sport. And 18, like you said, 18 years of my life have been dedicated to playing at the professional level. But my friends play as well, all of them. Anytime there's a game on, anytime we go anywhere, anytime we get together, basketball is what we talk about.
Basketball, I've noticed that, like, with different players that have been around and coaches, it's like, that's what it is. Yeah. They talk about ball, or like, who's doing what, or the different, you know, defenses that they're seeing, or what other trades are going on. I've seen that, and I think it's interesting. So, another thing that I find really interesting about basketball just in general is until you really maybe get around it a little bit, you don't realize how intricate, like, the plays you guys run are, how many there are, how choreographed it really is.
Yeah, it's very, very, like, it can be simple, but it can be very detailed. I think the teams that are better keep it simple.
Okay.
Yeah, the teams that are real good, they have a system that they run, and they know their reads, so you don't even really have to call any plays. You just got like a formation.
Right, I understand, and that comes with time, obviously, chemistry with teams. So, but is that where, like, you kind of learn that, the simplicity of it, like being like, this is just very simple offense we're running, or simple defense, or this is just not as complicated as maybe other people in the past have made it, and so that's why we're winning?
No, to win, you just got to be better.
I like that too. I like that too.
You got to score more points and you got to get more stuff. It's simple. It's a simple game.
Yeah.
But we make it complex by trying to trick everybody into thinking some other shit. Just score more points.
That's it.
Or get more stops.
That's it. Who's the hardest defender you've ever faced?
I would probably say the best. I don't know if there's a best because everyone in the league at that level.
So you got drafted. We'll just kind of start from the top here with you though too. You got drafted second round.
Yep.
By the Knicks.
The Knicks.
What was your perception in New York when you got there, and then what is it like going into a huge market like that?
I mean, I'm from LA, so I feel like going anywhere I can fit in.
Right.
LA is a place where you see a bunch of people anyway. Everybody comes here too. So going to New York was an easy transition.
It was familiar.
Yeah.
That's
the
cool.
only difference is it was cold.
Yeah, that's brutal. And then, like, I feel like the New York mentality can be tough sometimes too with some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, New York's definitely like a different situation. Where'd you go after New York City?
I went to Orlando.
Orlando. Ooh, thoughts on Orlando?
Orlando was pretty cool. It was a young team. It was a young, growing team. Dwight Howard was on that team. Then Jameer Nelson was there as well. But it was a fun team. It was a real fun team, which made being there easier.
You know? Right, of course. Yeah, Jameer Nelson. Was J.J. Redick on that team?
J.J. Redick came the second year.
The second year?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. He was always a stud. He was one of my favorites, bro, growing up, watching him play at Duke and everything.
JJ is a tough dude. Like, his mentality, how he trains, just everything about him was like real. Like, I want to be better than you.
Okay.
I think he is like one of the most competitive people, that I think I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
That's super interesting. He's got a podcast, which is awesome, and he's doing the sports casting and stuff like that. I don't know who he's working for right now. Didn't he just start with somebody?
I think so.
I think he does a great job with that, and I think he's an honest opinion always, right? And he comes from the player's perspective. So for you now, you meet like a JJ Redick, you see that work ethic. That's crazy, and that was early on in your career too, right?
Yeah, that's real early.
Not so for you then, as far as work ethic went early on, especially because the expectations are high. Lifespan in the league is really not that long for most players. Not 18 years. No. That's for sure. I think it's like 4.5 or something like that.
4.7.
Yeah, I think that's close.
I don't know. I've always. Nothing ever was really given to me, so it's not like I was gonna go to the NBA thinking things were gonna be easy. Again, like you said earlier, I was a second-round pick, so my money wasn't guaranteed coming into my position. I had to actually go. Once I get there, like, still grind to get there. But the mentality always was, I'm gonna work. Nobody got work.
That's a game changer with mentality because a lot of guys don't have that.
Yeah. It's. At that level though, you're really fucking special. There's some special talented people that play basketball. So what would be like a 45-minute workout to them would be like, maybe like an hour and a half in one session for me.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm coming back and I'm gonna go back again and work some more. So my mentality was always
go.
Yeah.
That's really interesting that you said. Did you have like a mentor or somebody that like instilled that in you at any time in your life? Or was that just you? That's just Trevor Ariza?
I think that's just, I was born with that in me.
Yeah.
That's who I am. Somebody who's gonna compete at all costs and, work as hard as I can to figure out to be as best as I can be at whatever it is I'm doing.
When you go to the NBA, whether or not, when you come into the kind of money a lot of these guys are coming into, is that like a lot to, it's great you can buy things, whatever, but like, is that a lot to take on mentally as you, like, looking back now?
The thing that I would say, what would you do with shit ton of money at 19?
Nothing good. Really, dude, a lot of cocaine is my answer. Like, that would be my answer. Yeah. Like, a lot of cocaine. If I made it to 20, everybody would be sorry.
Yeah.
Not anymore, but back then.
Yeah, said you was 19. Yeah. So, like, that fucked me up. Yeah, no, you gotta have really good people around you to kind of guide you in directions that help you from yourself. Because again, at 19, the things that I know now, I would have never done.
Yeah. You get a big check.
Yeah.
Would you tell me what's like the first big thing that you did, or first dumb thing you did with like a check?
I don't even know. I don't believe in dumb. I just believe in experience.
Okay. Yeah, everything's a lesson.
Learning.
I like that.
Yeah. So I guess my first learning experience would be, I bought a Hummer.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, bought a Hummer. Bought a house for my family.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty actually responsible. You didn't go spend like a couple $100,000 on a watch or something like that. Yeah. See, and I think that I used to see that when I work at car dealers, when the car dealers I was at, I'd see all kinds of athletes come in, but the majority of the athletes that were coming in were like end of the roster, whether they're playing, baseball, basketball, football, whatever it was, and they were coming in, they were spending big money on these big cars, and you'd see them at the repo list, right, as they came in, and it was just like a sad thing because it wasn't a matter of these people being bad people or unintentionally doing this. It's just I feel like they're just not guided in the right direction, and then they're given, like you say, a lump sum of money at such a young age, and a lack of guidance for the most part.
Yeah. So, but then some get with the right people, and then you get a Bron.
That's wild. That's wild.
You get like Kobe. When Kobe started doing amazing things after his career.
Right.
He fucking got an Oscar.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, he was always doing something great.
Yeah, for real.
Kobe was greatness. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Kobe is greatness. You spent a lot of time with him. Obviously, you played with him. Obviously, you won a championship with him. How special is that for you?
So I've never ever like looked back on situations. I always like to live in the moment. So I haven't had a chance to like think about that. Obviously, him being gone, you only can think about situations and such, but just to be around him and just to know like how he competed every day, the work that he put in, like how like he's the most competitive person I've ever been around, ever.
I love the stories that I've heard on YouTube. Yeah, like when I watch them, I mean, it's incredible. Everybody says they've got like a Kobe story.
I'm sure everybody does, because he's one of a kind. But he's the most competitive person I've ever been around. He wanted to beat you at tying your shoe.
Really?
Yeah,
Didn't matter what it was. Anything and everything, he wants to be the best.
everything.
You obviously practiced with him. I mean, it's obviously true. He was the first one in, last one out, pretty much every day, always working, no matter what he was doing.
He's a worker for sure.
Did that make you want to be better, or was that something that was like, you were also, like, what's your mentality going into that? I guess is the better question. Like, you're gonna go work with Kobe Bryant, and you know how he is.
I'll see you there.
That's it.
Yeah, I'll meet you
Yeah.
there. Or
Yeah.
you will meet me there, one of the two. It's true.
But you're a worker. That's why. Did you ever have teammates throughout your career that were just not working hard? They were just didn't love the game, and it showed in practice and in the court like that?
I think everyone that I've been around pretty much, or the people that I gravitate to,
Yeah.
are people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
So I had teammates that didn't work, I wouldn't even remember.
Right, because it wasn't something you were paying attention to.
Yeah, not at all.
You didn't care about that. So growing up as a kid, you wanted to be an NBA champion. Everybody that plays basketball, I mean, that's the dream, right? What was that moment for you? Like, I mean, and what did it mean to you?
So if I can like put a word to how it felt, I guess amazing would be it, or unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, the game's been around 75 years, and 5,100 players that ever play in the game.
Yeah.
And out of those 5,100 people, like how many people have won championships?
Yeah, not many.
Not a lot of
Not a
them.
lot at all.
So to be able to be a part of a group like that
Yeah.
is unreal.
Yeah. And so, like, a lot of that, I wanted just everybody to kind of have a background on you and, talk about what you have done over those 18 years. And, like, I just think it's impressive that you are not only you're a journeyman, one, you've been all over. You won a championship with Kobe. You've worked with the best. What's now for you? Like, what do you have going? What do you have in the works? Is there anything, you want anybody to know about that you have going on?
No, really, I just spend a lot of time with my family, my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot. So, like I said, retiring transition has been pretty cool, pretty easy. I have a son right now who's pretty good at basketball.
Yeah, that was shocking, right? Shocking.
Yeah, I have two sons that play. My one that's in high school right now is being highly recruited, so I'm in the gym a lot still, so it don't feel like I'm missing anything.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're missing it. You're doing your thing.
Because whether it's in my high school gym, his high school gym, the NBA, the Lakers, the Magic, whoever, it's still a gym, and that's what I love. I love being in the gym. So.
And with your son, like, what a great way to connect.
Right. It's like baseball, right?
Right.
Your favorite pastime.
Yeah, that's what they say, right? That's what they say. I like the first 4 innings of baseball for the most part.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
So what's your favorite pastime? How about that?
My favorite pastime of all time is definitely, for me, basketball, because it's always been an escape. And I know I'm an athlete, as you can all tell. So, yeah, dude, this is a 6-pack, dude, just relax. But basketball was always my forever thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I played baseball, I played some football in like middle school, but that was it. Yeah, it was my favorite pastime, 100% basketball. Yeah, that was the whole dream, man. And I come from Cleveland, but like the West Side, right? Which is like, I don't know, all white people everywhere. You know, there's like one black person. So it's just like basketball for us. Like that's everybody wanted that. Everybody wanted the NBA. You know, like I was playing basketball so much in seventh grade. I'll never forget. My seventh grade teacher came in one time, called my mom in too. He's like, "You'll never be in the NBA," you know, and he said that to me, and he was fucking right.
I had a teacher tell me that too. I think I don't.
Yeah, but you're fucking Trevor Ariza. You're 6'8".
Yeah.
I had no shot, dude. I'm not even kind of fast. I know that must be tough to believe when you look at me, but that's just I'll never forget that.
Yeah, no, but those things they never like hurt me though. Like they kind of motivated me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always was like motivated, even though I never really showed like things would bother me in that sense. I feel like just hearing shit all the time and just motivates you to just shut motherfuckers up, and you don't even have to say nothing. I went back to, I did this program with these kids some years ago, and he was a teacher after school. And this is the first time I've seen him since, like, he was telling me that I wasn't gonna fucking shit.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
You saw him?
Yeah, and the kids that I was going to see were in his class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
That's a fucking unbelievable.
Did you say anything, or just
No.
kind of let it ride?
I was indirectly speaking to him, but I was talking directly to him.
Yeah.
So I was speaking to the children, but I was talking to him.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, don't let me tell you can't do. Yeah. Oh,
right,
yeah.
Right. I'm a product of people telling me that this is something that you can't do.
Do you still have that situations at all in your life?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy till you're a genius, right?
Yeah. It actually happened in basketball too. A team that I played for prior to getting traded, it didn't feel like I fit in at the time for what they were doing. And, you know, I think I was 20 years old. That shit, I was so mad, but I sat there and I listened to him just tell me this, like, yeah, you know, this ain't it. Like,
Really?
you're not gonna fit in here right now. So I went back to I guess we went to the game. I sat the whole game. So he put me in for like a minute and a half for the last 3 minutes of the game. So I went to the bench. I just started fucking crying like a baby. And then they ended up trading me to the Lakers. And we ended up playing them in the finals the next year. And we fucked them up in the finals.
Goddamn right. Yeah, goddamn right.
Yeah. So that was one of those moments for me where I'm looking at the teacher like, I can do this.
So for you, have you ever had any like bad bouts like with depression or like any of that? You seem like such like a mentally strong human as far as like how you channel whatever's coming at you into like the correct emotion, right? So like you seem to be good at that. So that's why I ask.
I try, but we are human, so we fail.
Yeah.
I do the best I can to try to put things in perspective. Understand that it's more life. Understand the way that I think that I do live in the moment, so these moments are only moments.
So you are really good at keeping yourself pretty level. You seem like a pretty level-headed dude for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
Except when you walked into that locker room that one time and I got, I think, thrown out or suspended for 2 games. But other than that, everything was pretty good.
Yeah, I did. Dude, that was.
I love those though. That's my favorite part of SportsCenter, right? Because it's everybody's just heated, right? And you know somebody said something dumb. That's usually what it is, right? But I always find that interesting when it does boil over because it does become. When it gets personal, obviously you never want to get there, but.
I don't think it. But see, that it's a misconception. It wasn't even. I never approach a situation looking to be hostile ever.
Okay.
I never do.
Okay.
I can get there. Yeah.
I think, but everybody has that, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has that point, that boiling point.
So my intent was not to be hostile. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. You must have been pretty pissed to hop in the other to go over there though, right? Like I mean,
no, it's right there. These are guys that I see all the time.
Yeah.
So
you want to have a
not
conversation.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I know you, I'll speak to you. I could joke with you. I can say anything. if we have that relationship.
Yeah.
If I don't know you, I don't think that there's lines or like boundaries, and I feel like a boundary was crossed.
Okay. Yeah, and that's fair. That happens. You know, I've had that happen. I've had that happen plenty of times in my life. I think everybody has it happen in different capacities, but when you boil over like that, that's what happens, right?
No, but I didn't go with the intent to be disrespectful. I just wanted to understand because I felt disrespected.
Right.
I wanted to get an understanding.
You were frustrated, but it wasn't meant to be. The intent was there. I get it. It was good intentions. Trying to figure it out.
I was smiling when I walked over there.
You were being a problem solver. That's what we're going to You're just solving a problem. That's it. You're just solution driven.
I try to be.
Solution driven. I also try to be. We had a conversation on the way over here. Be solution driven. And I think, and then like, let's just make things happen. Yeah. That's all it is. Let's shake and bake, make things happen. Today's podcast is brought to you by one of the absolute best real estate agents in the Cleveland market, Tom Sugar with Howard Hanna Real Estate. Tom's here to help you understand the home buying and selling process. He's here to ensure that you're also always going to get the best price, whether you're buying a home or whether you're selling a home, and his customer service skills are top notch. Give Tom a call at 216-406-2841. That's 216-406-2841. You can call or text him or visit his website, shugsells.com, SHUGSELLS.com. Visit Tom Sugar, everybody. He is the best. When you made the decision, like, hey, man, I'm done with basketball. I'm going to move on with my life. I'm going to spend time with family. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Was that hard?
No.
No.
It was actually it was the easiest decision I ever had to make.
Really?
Yeah.
How? You got to tell me about that.
Because I was selfish for as long as I played. And I didn't get an opportunity to be with my children the way I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And I always told myself once my oldest got to high school, I would be done. So he got to high school, I had to be done.
That's really cool, though. I mean, 18 seasons, I think that's crazy. But I think for you to have that time now to spend with your family is probably super valuable. Is that also a little different, and how are you adjusting to like not traveling all the time and not having those physical requirements hanging over your head on a regular basis, right? And not worried about other things like incentives and contracts and, you know, what do your stats look like and the bullshit, right?
Yeah, no, those things were cool.
Okay. I mean, you were doing pretty good, yeah, of course. Of course, bro.
Those things were cool. But again, just to be able to, raise my youth, I think is equally as cool.
Right.
And they're at the age where, me being here is more important than me being there. So.
Right. That's good.
That's an easy decision.
You look like you're in great shape. You look good. Do you feel healthy right now? Do you feel good?
Yeah, I feel pretty healthy.
Yeah?
Yeah, my body feels good. I'm in shape. I work out still. Not really on the court unless I'm in the gym with my son, but I work out a lot. I be in the gym.
You like staying in LA? Are you gonna go anywhere else?
Yeah, I like Miami.
Yeah, you like Miami. You're a Miami guy. What is it about Miami that you like?
Miami is the shit.
I mean, I like Miami, I guess, though, but I am not rich as fuck, so...
You gotta be rich as fuck to live in Miami?
No, you gotta be rich as fuck to have fun in Miami. Unless you want to just go, like, crush it for, like, a couple days, you know?
I don't even think so. They got some real cool spots out there that's, like, cool.
I lived in Boca, and I worked at a Mazda store in Delray Beach. And, I was moving to maybe get away from some friends that weren't so great, and my dad was down there and things like that. But it's like the rehab capital of the country. And if anybody knows anything about rehab capitals of the country, if you find rehab, you will find drugs. And it was so mind-blowing when I first went. And then, like, I traveled farther south. Fort Lauderdale's the shit, right? Yeah. And then you keep going down to Miami, obviously. You know how that goes. It turns right up. It has a good time. Did you spend a lot of time in the nightlife in Miami?
When I wasn't playing there, yeah.
Yeah, when you weren't playing there.
Yeah. That's definitely a destination that you want to go to. But, my origin is close to Miami, from Turks and Caicos originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's only an hour, hour and a half from there, hour 15 minutes.
So you're a Floridian.
Low key. I'm from LA though.
We're alright. We're gonna do a little investigating, guys.
I was born in Miami.
Okay. When did you leave Miami? How old were you?
I came to LA in the 4th grade.
That is on the cusp. That's on the cusp. It's right on the cusp. I guess it's more time in LA schools though, right?
Yeah.
Technically. But so what do you like better? You gotta choose Miami or LA. You gotta live in one for the rest of your life. What's it gonna be?
There's no choosing.
You gotta choose. Come on, one.
Why do you? So, man.
Because it's so different. That's why I ask. It's two totally different. I mean, yeah, the weather's great in both places, but that's why I asked that. Because it's so the attitudes, the vibe, everything is so different.
I'm gonna go with LA.
You gonna go with LA? I'm gonna go with LA too. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Do you train with your son? Is like I want to get a little bit more into that and what he's got going on as well. I want to talk about that a little bit.
What does he do? Yeah, I train with him. I'll go watch. I give him little pointers, but I'm not the everyday like, oh, do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not like the parent like that. I understand when you need something, you're there, but it's not like that. How helpful is that for him when he gets to come to his dad and be like, hey, Dad, like I don't really know what I'm doing here, or
I think I'm more so. All right, it's kind of like two-sided.
Okay.
He'll come to me like once he's exhausted every like option on his own. But I'm more of a, hey, yo, look at this, try this, and he's more like, man, watch out.
Really?
Yeah, I got this. Let me do my thing. If I need you, I'm gonna come to you.
Okay. But that's really cool though that you're just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You learn how you want to learn there.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Patience is crazy. Like being a parent, you have to understand patience for real. You can like give them like all type of information, but it's their life to live.
Yeah.
You know, and they want to experience it the way they like to.
That's a really good point. So I have a 7-year-old son named Carter. Loves sports, loves his iPad, loves Fortnite, loves technology nowadays. But how do you kind of control that within your family? Because like I struggle sometimes like, what do I filter out? And then like, I don't want to make it one of those things where he wants it so bad because I keep keeping it away from him because he's eventually going to see it. I just don't know like what's the right move there. What's your move on technology?
I try not to let him have it at the table.
Okay.
Well, that's his mom. His mom don't want him to have the phone at the table. I try not to. Well, my thing is when you're going into the gym, there's no phone.
Okay. No.
Fuck no. We here to work.
That's it. That's it. Is that a rule that you lived by too when you were playing?
Until I started having business and shit that I have to worry about.
Right.
Then it's like, okay, I need to check to make sure this is going right. But yeah, other than that, before that, nah, it's no phone.
So you really keep them at bay with like, okay, it's all situational at that point. So you're not all, like hovering over them all the time, but it's more of, yeah, like staying in the gym obviously is important, especially when you're highly recruited. And when did he start really getting good?
I think this past 9th grade, he started to get better. I think he's getting better and better. He's not all the way there yet, but he's super talented.
Right.
You know, he has a long way to go. But like the space that he's at, he's feel like I just want to make sure that me as his pops, I try to just keep him, keep his mind on the work instead of everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to ask you as well. You were in a Lil Wayne song.
Oh yeah.
How cool was that?
That shit was hard.
That shit is still hard. That's fucking sick, dude. Lil Wayne, dude.
No.
Lil Wayne.
For real. I just saw
on
him
a Kobe
at
song
halftime too.
Oh really?
Yeah, at the Raider game.
Wow. Who's your team? Who's your football team?
The Raiders.
Always has been?
Yeah. Well, no. Actually, in the up until the 9th grade. The 9th grade they started to become my team. Before that, I liked the Dolphins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what was
Williams?
Yeah, Ricky Williams was a stud, dude, wasn't he? He was the shit back in the day.
For real.
Ricky Williams. That team was awesome.
They were.
Wasn't that who else? That was a great defense they had too. Like those years. But then he started getting suspended for smoking weed. Yeah, and that was it.
Now we could walk on the street and smoke weed.
The same with Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon used to come into the car dealership that I was working at, right? Bring his Panamera. And this is during the time where he was being suspended or getting suspended or whatever it was. And there's always like roaches in the ashtray and stuff and whatever. And it's not like he was just smoking weed. This guy wasn't coming in fucked up, nothing like that. But I used to, you'd see it on the news every time. Josh Gordon suspended. Josh Gordon suspended. And everybody's like, "Why can't you just stop smoking weed? This and that." And it's just like everybody's going out and having drinks afterwards, right? Why can't I just smoke some weed? Same thing. So there leads me to my next question, right? Like, what is your opinion on smoking pot and whether in any sport? It doesn't even matter what it is in any sport, or just in general in life.
I mean, I guess too much of anything isn't good, right?
I agree.
So, in moderation, I feel like if that's what you do, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't got no problem with anybody doing what they have to do as long as it's not affecting their performance, if it's not affecting anybody else around them. Because again, when you are part of a team, what you do can fuck me up. And so if I'm relying on you to do your job, I need you there. So, too much of anything could be bad.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way at all. That's a really good way you just put that. So because if someone goes out and they start doing stuff like that, get suspended, whatever, you're jeopardizing the integrity or what's going on with the team.
You fuck up our chances of winning.
Yeah, which fucks up money for you guys too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it does personal damage, but I'm a selfish individual, so I think team first.
Okay.
So if I have a job to do and I'm not available to do the job, I fail. Not failing because we lost, but failing because I'm not even able to I can't even be here. So that's how I try to hold myself accountable, or I held myself accountable when I played. I
like that a lot. I think to have the team mentality is interesting, but I think it's also obviously, it's everything when the ultimate goal is what you guys are working against with the best people, with the best players in the world, right? What is your opinion about that? Somebody said something about this recently. They had somebody said NBA World Champions, right? And then there was a guy, I don't know who he was, but he said they're not world champions. They just play in the United States.
I understand technically what he's saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Anybody that wins a championship that year in the NBA, there's no team in the world that could fuck with that team.
I agree.
So it's a world championship.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Because the United States has the best players anywhere, everywhere. This is where people come to play.
I would say the rest of the world is kind of catching up though. They're starting to catch us because I don't know, are the top 5 players in the NBA American right now?
No.
Are they all American?
No. No, definitely not, right? I mean, Giannis, right? Giannis
is fucking killing.
Dude, Giannis is a stud, dude. Yeah, Giannis can get it, son. That dude doesn't mess around. Yeah. Who else? Yeah, Luka.
Luka's good as fuck.
He says he had his hot take, and I thought this was interesting. I don't want to call it a hot take. I think this is interesting. I think it's that he said it's easier to score in the NBA than this year.
It is. A lot of people say that. I feel like if you ask any scorer that's played in Europe, they would say coming to the NBA is the easiest thing to score in because in Europe it's more compact. Every possession matters more, so you're not taking just wild shots.
Okay, that's really, really interesting to hear. When he said that, I was like, "Are you serious?"
Your 7-footer could stand in the paint.
Oh yeah, there's no 3 seconds.
No.
I always forget about that. Yeah. 3 seconds, I think, is a great rule, though.
Not only that, if the ball is touching the rim, you can smack that shit off.
So goaltending is essentially. What about if it is a backboard?
It probably won't go in.
Probably. Yeah, I mean that's true. No, I'm saying, but I'm saying if you went late, if the ball's on the rim, right, and you can go slap it off, that's goaltending. But what if LeBron, this is the person that would do this, right, was doing a chase down block and the ball hits the backboard and then he blocks.
Oh, that's goaltending.
That's goaltending.
The ball has to hit the rim.
It has to be the rim.
Yeah, and if it's on the rim, you can smack it. Not before, so it has to touch the rim.
Have you ever purposely gotten a technical foul?
A couple times.
Yeah. I love it. I love the intensity when that stuff happens.
But it was more chess than checkers.
Okay.
It's kind of set the tone, I guess, of the game, or to send a message to either the referees, the other team, or my team.
Yeah.
Like, if it was to get a technical, it always has a meaning behind it.
There's a reason why.
Usually.
What's a give me not necessarily a personal example, but a general example of why somebody, like, what would you say to a ref to get that technical foul?
Get your shit together.
Oh.
But and I
so
understand it because it's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah.
He's just doing his job. Yeah, he can't see everything.
Right.
But when you playing a game that you love, you're playing with passion.
Yeah.
So like, there's a fine line of, all right, too much and not enough. So again, to the example that I was making about if you know the person, there's things that you can get away with more so than you don't know. The referees are like our colleagues, or they are our colleagues too. So over time you develop a relationship with them. So there are things that you can get away with the more time you spend with them, because they're understanding who you are as a person.
I get it.
Yeah.
And that's probably why Ron Artest had a rough time.
Nah, because people love Ron.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah.
Come on, can you elaborate on this?
Nah, he's a real good dude.
Is he really?
Yeah. He played with a lot of heart and a lot of passion. So.
He cared.
Yeah. Nobody gonna say that shit about like Van Gogh or fucking artists that do crazy shit, right?
It's true.
It's just,
one of my biggest life lessons that I've had recently is like, you can't judge anybody until you get a chance to get to know them. Like in person, you know what I mean? You can't just judge them based on the news or whatever it might be, right? Like I just did with Ron Artest, I shouldn't have done that. But that's like, it's good to know that he's like a good dude and like he's fun to be around and stuff like that. Did you have a favorite coach that you played for?
favorite coach?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that.
My favorite coach to play for?
Mm-hmm.
I played for a lot of them.
I know. That's why I asked you. That's why it's a good question.
I had some really good coaches, and I had coaches that taught me some lessons. My favorite one. How about this? The one I'm most happy for is Monty Williams.
Okay, yeah. I'm a huge fan of Monty
I'm a
Williams.
big fan of him.
Huge fan of Monty Williams.
Yeah. His success is very I get happy when I see him be successful.
He seems like a strong individual. With the ladies, he seems to have been through a lot based on what I've seen, but he seems like a really good guy.
He's another one of those people that are really good people.
Have you ever considered maybe going into coaching? Not at all.
Nope.
Why not?
I think in order to be a coach, you have to be able to be you got to be able to take a lot of shit.
Really?
Yes.
It's that bad?
It's not that bad, but it can be.
The media's got to be rough.
No, it's just, like, as a coach, you got to be able to be, like, level all the time. Because you're dealing with young men who are growing to be men and making changes, some of them going through puberty. And anything could be said or done.
Yeah.
And some of the things that I know I have experienced or I've given off haven't been, like, the best. So I don't know, as a coach, I would be able to take that shit.
No, you wouldn't necessarily be able to keep a cool head for everything like that.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, I mean, that does have to be a tough role to play. But as a vet, too, it's probably also a situation where you end up playing that role for a lot of those guys anyways, right?
True.
When you come in?
Yeah, no, that is true. And as time you start to understand, so the things don't, like, bother you as much. I don't know, it's a different role. They look, we look at the players and then we look at them as staff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Or not staff, but the coaches.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
I've heard somebody say like, they got to get like coaches that have transitioned from players to coaches. They got to get the player out of you.
Yep.
To be a good coach.
Yep.
And I think that's an interesting way to put that because obviously I've seen some different plays and like some of the stuff, and I'm just like, how? I was like, I never knew any of this stuff. I never know how intricate and detailed everything was. But anyways, so I kind of want to just wrap this up because I like keeping it quick.
Yeah.
But I always finish my podcast with this. I want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy would you consider yourself to be? Mm-hmm. And if it's not a 10, what do you think you could do to get yourself to a 10?
Man, I think 7.5.
What do you think you could do to get to an 8? With that being said,
I think to get to an 8, for me, I'm some personal shit.
Go ahead.
For me to get to an 8, I would just need everybody that's in my tribe to get along. That's it.
I like that. I like that. That's imperative to, I'm sure, a lot of things that are going on in your life. So that's that half point for you. Right there.
Right there.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and that's an extremely realistic and reasonable thing.
Yeah,
and it's, as you know, you can accomplish that. So
it's a fact.
that's a shit.
Time, effort. So
I love it. Well, dude, thank you for coming on. Everybody, Trevor Ariza, don't do drugs, kids.
that's funny.
Peace.